On this episode of the CBD University podcast, CBD and You, the stories of how our customers came to love their CBD products, what got them started in CBD, and the advice they have for others looking to incorporate CBD into their everyday health and wellness routine. This is the CBD University podcast, and it starts right now. I'm Joe Augustinelli, host of the CBD University podcast. And if you are a returning listener, we welcome you back to our podcast. If you are a new listener, we are glad you found us on your podcast platform of choice. Don't forget, full video episodes of our podcast are available on the Global Widget YouTube channel and the YouTube channels of our brands, Hemp Bombs and Nature's Script. And speaking of our brands and social media, those who follow our Hemp Bombs social media network should be very familiar with at least the username once we give it of today's guest. We always love to hear feedback, good and bad, and we do respond to that feedback across our social media networks, regarding all of our products. Debbie Verdugo, and I hope I got that right, is one of our biggest fans of our products. She joins me for this episode from Rancho Santa Margarita, California.
Yes.
Did I get all that right? I just wanted to say margarita, that's all.
I know, right?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Debbie, first of all, I want to thank you for joining our podcast, and welcome to the podcast. And love the social media handle, Nana the Great 182. And as I mentioned on the intro, thank you so much for all of your comments that you provide on our social media channels and in our products. We really do appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It's fun to do.
So first of all, and I didn't know this until you told me before we started this episode recording, the 182 in Nana the Great is actually from a musician group, correct?
Blink 182.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I used to listen to them all the time. So let's start off first for our listeners and our viewers. Let's talk about your CBD journey. You know, when did you start using CBD, and what led you to going down that road and to incorporating it into your everyday routine?
Well, I, like a lot of people my age, thought CBD was basically like its counterpart, THC, and they were one and the same. And in 2018, my son brought home a disposable vape pen, and it was strictly CBD. You know, and it sat around the house for probably a couple of weeks until I did some research on it to find out that, you know, I'm not going to get loopy or anything. And that's what started it. So I went online and looked up sites for disposable vape pens to get delivered, because I didn't know of any other place to go buy them. And I didn't want to go to basically head shops, so, which is what I still categorize them at. That's what got me started, was the vape pens.
So with a number of products available on the market today, how did you settle on Hemp Bombs?
Well, I kind of surf the net and look and see the ones that pop up first. And if they have a paid ad, I kind of pass them up. But look at all the comments that they have. And they'll have independent comments, not just on your website. And your price was right. I called customer service probably more than they wanted me to, and asked more questions than they hoped I would ask. And we had vape pens all over this house.
So we came out with a lot of new products during 2020. And based on your feedback on social media, there was some sort of shift from just the vape pens to a lot of other CBD products that you use on a daily basis.
Well, and I've heard my family members discuss edibles. And the more I looked at the vape pens, I thought, I probably shouldn't be, and people getting sick, not from the vape pens. Maybe I could just do the edibles and try it that way. So you didn't have sample packs back then, but I don't remember. I think I bought a bottle, and that did it. That did it. And I think there's been 3 versions of it since I started taking the CBD, and it's the best. I went from 4 prescriptions a day, 4 times a day, to once.
Wow, that's great to hear. So we go from the vape pens to the edibles. Right. And obviously part of 2020 was our year of more. And you talk about the 3 iterations. Our latest iteration of our award-winning gummies that won an award from CSP magazine last year. So what do you think of the gummies, and what variations of the gummies do you take? Because they are available, obviously, an original that's 15 milligrams of CBD per gummy, high potency 30 milligrams of CBD per gummy, and then the sleep gummies, which are just like the original with the exception of the 5 milligrams of the sleep aid melatonin in the gummy.
Right. I take the high potency gummies, and I take 2 the minute I get out of bed. If there are people out there that, like me, that their muscles are as stiff as can be, I've got degenerative disc disease in my lower back. And just even bending over, you got to be kidding me. It's not working. And after I go back to bed for a little while, lay there for about 15 minutes, and I can move, put my shoes on, the whole 9 yards, and possibly take 2 more around 6 o'clock. And then I stay up late at night and I eat 2 of the sleep gummies.
Oh, great. In addition to the edibles, have you made the move to any other type of the CBD products, whether they're topicals? And we do talk about edibles, so oils obviously included in that too.
Oh yes, we got I got my husband the roll-on freeze. And that, he says that starts working immediately. And then I got a sample of the CBD patch, the pain patch, that lasts all day. I wear that when I babysit my grandson all day. So I don't even eat the gummies on that day. It's just the pain patch. Then I have a sleep patch. And I started buying, kind of a little stockpile so that I could get my friends across the country to try it. And I told them, I said, if you don't like it and you buy it, I'll pay for it and you just send it to me. So it was a win-win situation.
So of your favorite new products from 2020, and there were a lot, so we'll recap. We had the gummies, we had the oils, the lip balm. You already mentioned the Pain Freeze roll-on, which was a new product. We upped the CBD milligrams in our regular Pain Freeze and now offer a high potency Pain Freeze version. So lip balm, the hand and body lotion, the lolly bombs. Do you have a favorite new product from 2020?
The roll-on Pain Freeze, and then the one that comes in the jar. Those are terrific.
And you talked about your husband and the roll-on Pain Freeze that he enjoys. So have you had other family members use CBD products, and what has been their experience?
Oh yes, all of my kids use CBD, and my one of my kids has anxiety, and gave him a couple of CBD. I usually give him a little 4-pack because I'm saving them. So I gave him a 4-pack, and I said, just for the heck of it, eat one. He said, oh my God. He goes, my shoulders were up around my neck while I'm working from home. And he said, because it's amazing. He said, it just, within 15 minutes, he said, my shoulders have relaxed, my neck is relaxed, my back isn't stiff. And for him to say that's a win. That's
great. That's great to hear. And you've talked about you've gotten the friends involved. Now, you had also told me that you have started to purchase some of the pet products, both from Hemp Bombs and our partner brand, Perfect Paws Hemp, for friends. You don't have a pet, unfortunately. No. Maybe you should get a pet. Know, right? But for friends who have a pet, you said you have started to buy products for your friends who are pet owners.
Oh, yes. I've got some folks that I met that are from Long Island, and they've got 2 they're combination Great Dane and Pit Bull. And the weather out there, especially in the wintertime, I mean, their little pads just get sad as can be. And I got a sample of it, sent it to them, and they said, oh my gosh, that's so great. Where do you get it? And I said, well, I'll send you some. And if you like it, here's the website. You can give them an order over online, and they'll send it to your house. And they use it continually now for their huge dogs.
And shifting back from the pet products back to pet products or even the regular CBD products, what advice would you have for folks who maybe are in that introductory phase, that you were in back in 2018, where they haven't yet incorporated CBD into their health and wellness routine, either for themselves or their pets, and they're in that research and education phase where they're, looking to learn more about it or to get over that confusion that, oh, hey, the CBD contains less than the 0.3% of THC. This, I'm going to go ahead and use this.
Well, the friends that I've sent the samples to, I let them know that before I started any of this, I talked to my doctor and she said, as long as there's no THC in it, excuse me, as long as there's no THC, and I brought her the bottle. She said, great. She goes, anything we can do to stop these prescriptions, that would be terrific. And the same with and they're the baby boomers. They're in Arkansas, for example, she was having a hard time sleeping. Her husband's ill and she's up all night long watching over him. So I sent her some sleep patches and some of the sleep gummies. And she's now one of your customers. She's like, she couldn't believe how fabulous it was. The pain patches, she plays golf. So she is pretty sore by the time she gets home.
Yeah.
And the pain patch gets her through. She forgets it's even on.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell them, I said, take a look. And I said, one thing I did, go online and look at the top. I would type in, what's the best CBD gummies on the market? And Hemp Bombs comes up as number one all the time. The sites I've gone to, I said, you can't beat it. I mean, they're getting awards all over the place. Look at this. And they're firm believers in seeing documents.
Yeah. Well, that's great to hear. We appreciate you helping spread the word.
It's something that, I mean, as my husband says, he says, this is going to put pharmaceuticals out of business.
We'll have to see how the industry evolves from here.
They're putting one out of business in my case. That's for sure.
So we talked about the families and the friends who use it. So, all right, let's have a little fun here before we wrap up this episode. If we put you in charge of you love the CBD gummies. If we put you in charge of the CBD gummies, so we have 5 new flavors that we came out with last year. Do you have a favorite flavor, or is it whatever one you grab out of the bottle?
It's whatever one I grab out of the bottle. But the pink lemonade on the lollipop, oh my God. And my idea for a new little product is like the Jolly Ranchers, because a lot of the older folks don't want to walk around sucking on a lollipop.
Yeah.
The little Jolly Ranchers would be amazing.
I will. Yeah, we won't use any brand names, right? No, I'll tell them. The little hard candies. That's good. That's good. No worries. But I will actually pass that on to our team for some feedback. And just a reminder, we do welcome obviously the feedback of all of our customers. If you use our CBD products, and you can find us on all of the social media networks to provide your feedback. Drop us an email. So if we put you in charge for a day, what new flavor gummy would you want to come out with?
Well, myself and some girlfriends of mine would like a chocolate one.
We'll have to see what we can do with that.
It kind of curbs the sweet tooth as well.
Yeah, exactly. Have you tried now, do you use the CBD oils at all?
Yes, I do. I usually put those in my tea.
That's a lot of people do tea or coffee.
And it's not a strong flavor. So, if I'm drinking a cinnamon tea, the flavors aren't going to really pop out that much. But they work so well.
Well, Debbie, I just want to, I really appreciate you taking the time to join me on this episode of the podcast. This is actually the first time we've had a customer as part of our CBD and You series. It's a new series we're launching with the podcast to incorporate some of our user stories. And we couldn't have thought of, get my English right one of these days. We couldn't have thought of a better customer to kick off this series other than yourself. So I appreciate you taking the time to not only offer advice to folks who may be just entering the CBD game, but sharing your story on how you've become certainly a brand ambassador of Hemp Bombs CBD and our CBD products.
Well, thank you all for coming up with these. And the journey has been absolutely amazing. And believe me, if you go out of business, I'll find you and hunt you down.
Okay, we promise we won't. We promise we won't.
Okay, good.
And just a reminder to our listeners, if you, as I said, wish to share your stories or wish to contribute your thoughts on our brands, you can email us affiliates@globalwidget.com. That's affiliates@globalwidget.com. That will cover all of the brands that we have of our CBD products. Nana the Great 182 on social media because of Blink 182, otherwise known as Debbie Verdugo, my guest on this episode of the CBD University podcast. Thank you once again for joining me. And a reminder, if you have not yet done so, become a fan of our podcast. You can also hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcast, the audio version or the video version on the Global Widget YouTube channel and the YouTube channels of our brands, Hemp Bombs and Nature Script. Wherever you subscribe, you'll get notifications each week when brand new episodes are published. I'm Joe Augustinelli, the host of the CBD University podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. CBD products are not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Always consult your personal physician about CBD and using CBD products. CBD should never be used by anyone under the age of 18. This podcast is not intended to provide legal advice regarding the legal status of CBD and CBD products.